Is your God a deceiver?
Sometimes he does things, yeah, like he does things like sends a spirit of deception during the end days. He does seem to like to deceive evil people.
Graphics, welcome back.
So we've had this conversation before, and
have we actually had this conversation, or did we have a conversation about the shape of the earth?
Yeah, we have. You just don't remember things. It's okay. You might be getting a little old like me.
Yeah, I just don't remember notable or non-notable people.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, you don't remember being wrong about everything you say. So we talked about the Earth being created with a semblance of age, with existing daughter isotopes.
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
Yeah. Said that
Wait a minute, hold on. Just to be clear,
your problem was that you felt God would be tricking us.
Yeah.
That's not a scientific argument.
Well, what does it mean to trick someone?
Well, it's not tricking someone. Do you know what the Earth would have been like if it wasn't created with existing stable lead?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that different.
Okay. Can you tell us what
also, just to be clear, graphics, you don't need the lead to be inside zircon in order to have lead on the planet.
Great. So what happens if there's undecayed uranium? If God creates the Earth with no semblance of age, it's not decayed at all.
You just have uranium. I mean, we have undecayed uranium still on the planet. Yeah. We have
you can have life with undecayed isotopes.
Yes, graphics. You know that we have. What would happen if there was no decay? Graphics. You know that we have undecayed uranium on the planet now.
I'm talking about God creating a brand new Earth.
Yep. If he created a brand new Earth with all of the uranium that hadn't decayed yet, yeah, well, there could still be life. There's no issue.
There was no decay of any radioactive isotope. Brand new Earth, not just uranium. No decay whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Earth would be uninhabitable.
Why?
Because it would be. Are you kidding me?
Answer the question rather than being incredulous.
Dr. Blitz, you claim to know about this subject, but you don't know that
you're being incredulous. Just provide the argument.
Okay. If without those isotopes, without stable lead, without thorium, without those elements, you would have
thorium's unstable, by the way.
You would have unstable chemistry. You cannot have life without decay. Decay is what.
Wait, I'm sorry. Why can't you have carbon? Why can't you have carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine,
produces the heat
sodium
inside the core of the Earth?
The radioactive. So graphics. The radioactive decay that has happened, or that happens and has happened in the past, contributes like 1% of the energy that the Earth gets. It's a very small amount.
Does radioactive decay contribut to the heat at the center of our
about
planet?
1% of it.
Without that.
It's about 1% of the Earth's energy budget.
Modern tectonic. We have an Earth that was habitable. You're saying we would.
Yeah.
Great. I can make a video about that. You're totally wrong about that. Okay.
So hold on. Graphics, hold on.
Anybody can fact check me.
Graphics. You got to let me ask you a question. You asked me some questions. So you said that God needed to create the Earth with some lead on it. And look, maybe, I don't think lead is necessary for any biological processes, but suppose it is. There is lead that is not trapped in zircon. He could have created that lead, and it wouldn't have to. He would. Please, I was in the middle of my sentence. Graphics. So, God could have created lead in place without it having necessarily come from zircon or from uranium. I'm sorry. The point is he put the lead inside the zircon, which it only could have gotten there through decay. There are other mechanisms by which lead can be produced. For example, via the art process. But the point is God put the lead inside the zircon. And the only way it could have gotten there is through decay, which is the deception.
How is that a deception? If he creates a habitable
what does the word deception
that looks
mean?
Like it does right now.
What does the word deception mean?
Explain how it's a deception.
Do you know what the word deception means?
Yes, I sure do. Can you explain to us?
A deception is leading someone to believe something that is not actually true.
Where did God ever lead you to believe that the Earth is millions of years old?
He put lead in a zircon crystal that can only get there if the zircon crystal exists for billions of years.
That's not true.
That's the scientific data.
The scientific data tells you that God could not have created the Earth with a semblance of age.
The scientific data says that if there is lead in zircon, it got there via a long process of decay from uranium.
And God could not have created zircon crystals with existing lead in them.
That would be deceiving us.
Why would that? That's what I'm asking you. Why would that be deception?
We would be led to believe that the Earth is billions of years old.
The
Any
Bible
rational
tells us
person
how
would be
old the
led to
earth
believe,
is. No,
given the
any
processes
rational
that we
person
can
that actually
observe,
believes the scriptures would read that
given the
it's
processes
6,000
that we
years
can
old.
observe, graphics, given the processes that we can observe in the world around us, we find that the only way that uranium or that lead can get into zircon crystals is via the decay of the uranium that's already in the zircon crystals. We would be correct to then infer that if we find zircon crystals with lead in them, that it must have come via the decay process from uranium. So if God put that lead in there by hand, that would be deceptive.
It's deceptive because he creates the earth with a semblance of age. That's deception. Even though
yes,
he
because he's presenting evidence that it's older than it is.
Right,
That's
I
what
understand.
that would be deception.
He
Yeah.
gives us a book where he tells us, "Hey, it's not that old. It's 6,000 years old." How is that deception?
Well, now it's confusion. He's presenting us conflicting evidence.
Oh, so you're just confused. So
No,
your issue is not that
your
it's
God
not
is a
true.
God of
You just
confusion.
don't understand it.
Your God is a God of confusion. He
No,
presents
but
conflicting evidence.
Now it's sophistry. We're talking about science.
Yeah, we
What
are.
scientific evidence
Oh,
do
okay.
you
So
have
wait, hold
that
on.
the
We're talking
Earth
about
is
science.
not
Then why are you bringing up a
6,000 years
book?
old?
Sorry, why are you
What
bringing up a book?
evidence do you have that the Earth is not 6,000
Why are you
years
bringing
old?
up a book if we're talking about science?
By the way, your prompt is not a scientific claim. Scientists don't claim anything like the Earth isn't 6,000 years old.
Sure,
What
they
you
do.
should
Go
say-
ask plenty
Nope.
of scientists.
What you should say is
Sure,
all of
they
the
do.
available evidence tends to make us believe that it's improbable that the Earth is more. That's how a scientist would talk. You're
Okay.
not a scientist. You're a
Cool
cult
tone
member.
policing. Cool tone policing graphics.
It's not tone policing.
It absolutely is tone
Science
policing.
science
Are we
does not
talking about
produce
scientific evidence or are we talking
proofs.
about
Science
books?
does not produce proofs.
I
You are
never
not a
said the word
scientist.
proof in the above description. Now tell me,
You
what's the
say
scientific evidence that the Earth is 6,000 years old?
6,000 years old. Science
Now
cannot produce
graphics.
those claims.
Graphics, please tell me, what's the scientific evidence that the Earth is 6,000 years old?
Why is there carbon-14 being found in elements when the carbon-14 half-life is only a little bit over 5,000 years? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so are you talking about diamonds?
You don't know what I'm talking about?
Well, no, I know what you're talking about. I'm making sure that
Okay,
you know
why
what you're
is
talking about.
carbon-14
Are we
being
talking
found
about
in-
diamonds?
Answer the question, Dr. Blitz.
Your question was too vague. I need more
What
details.
is the half-life of carbon-14?
5,760 years, if I
So
remember
if
correctly.
we're finding carbon-14 in something, is it millions of years old?
Where are you finding this carbon-14?
I'm just asking you. I'll tell you in a second. If we find
Look,
carbon-14,
there are processes by which carbon can leach into a system. And we understand those processes pretty well, so we don't rely on those for producing accurate ages.
that's not their claim
However-
against that anyway. What
However,
they're saying is that
there
we don't
are
even
other
know what's
processes, other systems, where we know that carbon leaking doesn't happen, or at least it's minimal. So
What
the
about
question
soft
is,
tissue on
I'm asking
dinosaur
for
bones?
what specific case are you referring
about
to
soft tissue
when
on
you
dinosaur
please?
bones?
What can you? Are you incapable of like letting me finish a sentence?
You're not answering any questions.
I'm asking a clarifying question. I want more details so that I can answer properly. So please, what specific example are you referring to when you say we're finding carbon in things that people are saying are millions of years old? What specific thing are you referring to?
So you're not even aware of the modern evidence for young Earth creation.
Just
You don't even-
present the evidence.
dinosaur fossils.
I'm not doing your homework for you.
Dinosaur
Present
fossils.
the evidence. Okay, what
I
about
already
dinosaur
told
fossils?
You 6 times.
So what
Why
about
is
the
there
dinosaur
carbon-14
fossils?
in dinosaur fossils, Dr.
Which
Bliss?
ones? Which ones?
Oh, are you kidding me, bro?
Yeah.
Tyrannosaurus Rex soft tissue samples.
Sorry,
Why is
that's
there
not carbon-14.
in them?
That's
Why
not
is there
carbon-14.
Okay, Dr.
Soft
Bliss,
tissue-
why are we
soft
finding
tissue is not the same as carbon-14.
in any dinosaur bones at all?
Which ones?
Are you kidding me, bro?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's actually go. We can actually Google this for you. Google this if you want.
The bone from the Centrosaurus apparatus found in Alberta, Canada.
Sorry, how do you spell that?
This
Centrosaurus.
is easily findable information, bro.
Okay, well, I mean, we could just like wait 30 seconds while
Why
I
are
find the
they
thing that you're referring
finding
to, or you could just spell it for
carbon-14
me.
in Dinosaur bones, bro.
I was talking and my mic is louder than yours, so I couldn't hear you. Do you want to try again?
Why is carbon-14 being found in dinosaur
That's a good question.
bones?
Have you looked into it?
Yes.
Okay, what's the answer?
The answer is they believe that the samples were contaminated.
Okay, sure.
But you didn't even
And
know
what's
that.
false about that?
But you didn't even know that. So they have found carbon-14 in dinosaur bones, and their only argument
I never said that they didn't, by the way. I never made that claim. You can replay it if you want. I never made that claim.
So you believe they've been contaminated. That's the answer.
Well, we know that carbon leaching can happen, right? This is why C14 is like considered generally less reliable than like uranium lead dating with zircon crystals.
Every piece of evidence for a young Earth. It doesn't
Why
matter
would
what
I?
we tell
Sorry,
you.
what did I deny? I didn't say that they didn't find
decay rates of
C14.
radioactive isotopes fluctuate with extreme environmental conditions?
What kind of extreme environmental conditions? Because I've only ever seen one study of this where you could make the decay rate of, like, I think it was an oxygen isotope. Where there
was the polar shift, right? Remember?
So hold on, please. I was in the middle of a sentence. Are you incapable of? Okay, I have to mute you. So I've read one paper from like 20 years ago where they showed that extreme exposure to neutrinos, I think, caused the decay rate of oxygen to change by like 0.0001% or something like this of a particular radioactive isotope of oxygen. I've never seen that being demonstrated for example, with uranium. Do you have evidence to the contrary? Because I'd love to see it.
Yeah, there's evidence that extreme environmental conditions could definitely have an impact on whether or not it's an extreme shift or not is not the point. The point is,
well, no. So is there evidence that like uranium decay rates can change? Can you refer me to that? Because that'd be interesting.
When you guys make silly statements like uranium decay rates don't change, are you saying that they don't change a lot?
I'm saying that,
or that they're completely static,
I'm saying that,
no matter what the environmental conditions.
So you can cause nuclear reactions to happen by like bombarding them with protons or bombarding them with neutrons or whatever. You can cause these things to happen. This is what like a nuclear reactor does. We induce nuclear reactions to happen to produce energy, right? So you can cause these things to happen, but without an external cause, without, some nuclear process happening to the atom. Oh my God, you cannot shut up. Without an external nuclear process being imposed on the atom, no, the decay rate is fixed. You can unmute now.
So if there's an external force that's extreme enough, then those rates can fluctuate.
It depends on what kind of thing it is. So like if you have like a neutron flux.
Peterson that he was wrong.
So if you have a neutron flux, then yeah, you can cause nuclei to split apart. But that's called induced fission. It's not radioactive decay. So no, you're not really changing the radioactive decay rate. That's like fixed.
So is it possible
constant,
that God is a deceiver and created the earth with a semblance of age?
Yeah, it's possible. It's just not your God.
I win.
It's just not your. Well, no, I mean it's not your God, right?
Yeah, that is my God. My God is.
Is your God a deceiver?
Sometimes he does things. Yeah, like he does things like sends a spirit of deception during the end days. He does seem to like to deceive evil people.
I'm sorry. So you think that your God could be a deceiver?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, you just admitted that your prompt is not.
I'm sorry.
It's not a valid prompt.
So. I'm pretty sure Ezekiel 14:9 says that.
Not be 6,000.
I'm pretty sure Ezekiel 14:9 says that God does not deceive.
Really? Who sends the spirit of deception during the end times?
Well, that's just another contradiction.
It's not a contradiction.
It is.
No, absolutely not.
Thanks for proving your Bible wrong.
He wants with evil, wicked people. You don't deserve justice. You don't get any of that.
So are you saying that all of the Christians who believe that the earth is 4.5 billion years old, that they're evil, wicked people, and God deceives the Christians?
No, I'm saying you just lost the debate and you should end your live.
Does God deceive Christians?
You just admitted that it's possible for the earth to be 6,000 years old. So thank you very much. And you just
admitted that it's possible for your God to be a deceiver.
No, you just don't understand the Bible.
And you don't understand the age of the earth.
Bro, Dr. Blitz, we've had this conversation before, and you were much nicer when you were in person. Now you're acting all. But you just admitted
in person. We've never spoken in person.
If God decided.
What do you wait? Hold on. What? We've never spoken in person.
Yeah, no, not in person. But we've talked before outside of your live, and you're a much different person. You don't even remember, bro. Every time I talk to you, you don't remember.
Which live stream?
You're not going to remember.
Was it someone else's? Whose?
You're not going to. Yeah, it was mine.
Was it like over a year ago? Because I haven't gone on anybody else's live streams except Ian's and Justin's in like months or years.
You were in my live, and you said that the fluctuation.
Remind me, please.
You said that the decay. Hold on one second.
Oh, wait a minute. You're the guy who told me about the oxygen thing. This was like 2 years ago.
No, that wasn't me. You came on my live, and you made a claim that the decay rates of radioactive isotopes never changes.
Yeah, when was this?
You don't remember. I'm sure.
Can you tell me when it was?
dude, it was like, it had to have been a year ago. Had to have been over a year ago.
Okay.
I have the messages. I
possible.
can send you the messages I sent you.
It's possible, yeah. So the
We had
radioactive
the
decay
same
rate does not
conversation.
change. That is correct. What does change is
Radioactive decay rates can
it doesn't change. What you can do is you can induce decay.
Yes,
That's called
of
induced
course.
decay. It's not radioactive
Right.
decay.
Yeah, nobody's speaking of decay rates in a vacuum. We're talking about in the universe we live in.
So
is it possible
in the universe
that
we
the
live
data
in,
is
the
skewed?
natural decay rates are not induced decay rates.
No, I understand that.
But actually,
Decay
this is an
rates-
interesting
I
question. So are you
understand that's not the
suggesting?
point.
Right, no. So graphics. This is actually an interesting question. So you're proposing that the Earth is 6,000 years old. God did not create it with age, but then something catastrophic happened and caused the decay rates to things to decay really, really fast. Is that what you're essentially getting at?
Because that would have annihilated everyone.
Oh, then why are you bringing it up?
Because the point is, you don't know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking
trying to
about better
prove to
than you do.
everybody
Yeah.
that you're not as educated as you say you are.
Oh, I mean, like my education is pretty open, and like I've made
It's
videos
not,
showing my
though.
PhD.
Every time,
Sure it
okay,
is.
you said, I asked you a question recently.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you to show me a system in nature where energy is increasing.
Oh, you're that
and
guy.
entropy
That's
is
right.
decreasing at the
Yeah,
same
yeah, and I
time
told you
with
about the
no
natural
living thing
maser.
involved. And you said a natural laser, which is objectively
No, I said a natural
wrong
maser,
answer.
but yeah, sure.
It's a wrong answer.
It is correct. I've double checked it. I've triple checked it. It's correct.
I've double checked it and triple checked it. And where did you double check it with?
In the academic papers that study natural masers.
So a natural maser is an example of a system increasing in energy and decreasing in entropy with no living thing involved.
Yes.
Can you explain how it meets those two standards? How is it increasing in energy and decreasing in entropy?
So because a maser has a finite number of energy states, as you add energy to the system, the energy, of course, you're adding energy, so the energy goes up. But because you end up with a population inversion is when most of the particles are in an excited state rather than most of them being in a ground state. Because you're in a population inversion, you have a lower amount of disorder because you have a whole bunch of particles concentrated in a high energy state rather than your particles smeared out broadly. So by adding energy, you're taking more particles and forcing them into higher energy states, thereby decreasing its energy because you're bringing more order to the system. By the way, decreasing entropy, these are called negative temperature systems. These are super well studied in like any thermodynamics course. Lasers are like the perfect example of them. And the fact that natural masers exist is evidence of the claim that I'm making.
Okay. And now do you want to know why you're wrong?
Sure.
Okay. So a system increasing in energy and decreasing in entropy would mean that the system, right? We're not talking about an existing system that has an input of outside energy causing that to happen.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
That's not what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what a natural maser is.
I'm talking about something like a bird building a nest, which is a system that did not exist before. So energy is being isolated.
You're changing the goalposts?
Hold on. Energy is being isolated in time and space, and complexity is being built into the universe.
I'm sorry. So I thought the question was, is there a system where energy of that system is increasing, the entropy is decreasing, and there's no living things involved? And I gave you an example.
Is entropy increasing in your example?
No, it's decreasing.
Really?
Yes. That's what happens during a population inversion.
Does the pumping process produce heat?
Not necessarily.
The pumping process it doesn't produce heat and disorder.
It does. Not necessarily. Like it depends on the configuration.
Serious?
It depends on the configuration. Like if you did pumping perfectly, then no, of course not. All of the energy would be absorbed by the atoms. However, in like real systems, sometimes not all of the energy is absorbed by the right modes, and so you can have thermalization. However, natural masers.
Are you saying there's zero entropy in these systems? There's no release of heat. There's no disorder.
I never made that claim. The claim is that the net entropy decreases, right, of the maser.
No, it does not. In a maser,
okay, that's a cool
net
claim.
Entropy increases. That's objectively wrong.
It's not objectively wrong. Look up what population inversion is and study its entropy.
A maser does not self-organize energy. It's externally driven. It's not something.
It is. You're right. Masers are externally driven. There is an energy source for this process. It's not life.
We're talking about spontaneous decreases of entropy associated with
that's not what you're saying. That's not what you were asking about. You were asking for natural systems. You were asking for natural systems where the energy increases and the entropy decreases, and masers fit that criteria.
Dr. Blitz, you just said that in a maser, net entropy is decreasing.
Yeah,
Are you,
at least
you're
in some
gonna
of them.
stand on that?
Perhaps not all of them, but at least in some of them, yeah. That's what happens during population inversion.
So in population inversion, entropy
goes down.
It reaches zero. The net entropy is decreasing.
Yes. During population inversion. Well, so the entropy of the laser or of the maser is, lower as you add more energy during population inversion. This is like first year thermodynamic stuff. You should definitely go read this.
Okay, so
definitely go learn about this.
First year thermodynamic stuff. You're saying that net entropy in this system is decreasing. Can you show me anywhere that there's a paper that says this or makes this claim?
Like I could just show it to you in a textbook.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Let's see if I can pull it up.
This is a problem between local and global entropy that Dr. Blitz doesn't understand.
We're specifically talking about the entropy of the laser system.
We're talking about the entropy of the system. Open systems.
We're not talking about the entropy of the source. We're talking about the entropy of
the entropy of the source
laser.
Is part and parcel to the system. It's an open system. Without the source, there is no maser.
I'm sorry.
Without an external input, there's no maser.
I'm referring to the laser or to the maser, not the source of the energy.
Is the Earth an open system?
Sure.
If you look at the Earth and the sun together, is net entropy increasing?
The Earth and the sun together? Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, okay.
But we weren't talking about net entropy. We were talking about the entropy of the system.
Can you show me a system?
I'm sorry. We were talking about the entropy of the system. You seem like you're struggling.
Okay, a bird building a nest. Is that an open system?
Probably, yeah.
You don't even know? Can a nest build itself?
You'd have a hard time computing the entropy of that.
Okay, can you explain because what you're saying is objectively false, and I'm gonna make sure
I'm sure it is
called out on this stuff. Anybody that knows what they're talking about knows that a maser is not an example of a system in nature increasing in energy and decreasing in entropy without a living thing involved.
Can you tell me what the temperature of a laser is, or the temperature of a maser, for that matter?
Dr. Blitz, you don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Wait, can you tell me what temperature a laser is at?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. No, because you're a fraud.
Can you tell me the temperature of a laser?
I'm going to make a video about
Okay, so you're not going to?
That you're a fraud.
I'm sure you will. And literally no one will watch it. So there's actually an interesting fact. A lot of people don't know this. So lasers during population inversion and during like masers are just microwave lasers. During population inversion, lasers can have negative absolute temperature. And the reason they can have negative absolute temperature is because the way we define temperature, rather the inverse of temperature, the way that we define temperature is as a relationship between how the entropy changes and how the energy changes. So things that have positive temperature, they have positive temperature because when you add energy, the entropy goes up. However, things that have negative temperature, have negative temperature because when you add energy, the entropy goes down. So that's like, this is a thing that's like pretty well studied. They're called, negative temperature systems. You can look them up. Lasers are a good example. They're like the prime example of negative temperature systems. They require quantum mechanics, of course, but so do lasers. So anyway, you should absolutely check it out. It's pretty cool.